Hello, as you can see, I have these wonderful 6x6 papers from Close to My Heart. I have tons of them. And I have this one photo of my mom and her sister shortly after my mom graduated from high school. And these papers just worked beautifully with that heritage photo. So I like to scrapbook by pulling out all of the supplies that I want to use. So that's what I did. Those thin cuts some of them are available, some of them are not. I will link anything that's available down in the description under this video. But I just wanted to kind of show that I used a linen cardstock. And Close to My Heart has great cardstock because it's the original color on one side and then a shade lighter on the back side. So I'm just showing you how I prep all of my supplies that I'm going to use for scrapbooking. If you've watched my channel, you've seen this process, so I'm kind of trying to keep it short. If you haven't, I still want to give you an idea of inking the edges of your papers just to give them some depth. And then here I'm using the mulberry color just to bring in some of that mauve-y purple tones to the edges of my flowers. And I showed you there how they look a little different. And then I like to shape my flowers and leaves. Actually, a lot of my embellishments, I like them to have some depth or texture, I'll call it. So I have this tool that was from the old Close to My Heart scoreboard, that the back side of it has this perfect round. The top side of it has a blunt point, and so I'll use both of those for shaping my flowers. They also have the metal ball styluses that you can use. McGill has a great set of them if you can find them. If I can find the link for it, I'll put it below in my description for you. Some of my links will have like an affiliate account associated to them, so by clicking on them I do receive a small percentage back from the company you purchase from, and that just helps me continue to make scrapbook pages and produce these videos. But you don't have to do that. If you have a favorite YouTube person that you like and you want to help support them and you can't necessarily buy products from them, if you're going to buy something, just go to their channel, get their affiliate link. They will still get credit. So just a tip for you. So here I shaped those flowers with the back of that stylus and kind of use my fingers. I'm pulling everything to the center. The first one I did, I curved up and then pushed down. This one is all going to be a flower cupping into itself. I end up changing that later because I like the up and down version better, but that's just me. So here I use that thin cut. Let me get the name of it. It is Square Pattern Thin Cut, and again I will have that link below my video in the description. And so I cut out of these two papers the square, and it's nice. It gives you those four triangles that you are actually it gives you four triangles that you can then play with. And this is the quilting pattern that I decided to use. So I just glued it down to a piece of cardstock. It could just be typing paper too. It just makes it easier for me to get the edges together. And then I'm taking a piece of the rosemary cardstock. It wasn't a part of the Close to My Heart colors when this Paper Feels Like Home came out, but it just works beautifully with the grays and the mauves and the colors that are in there. And now I need to audition my pieces to get my layers right, to give myself an opportunity to step back from the process and see if I have the color balance that I need. So I'm using a lot of grays in my background, kind of gray greens, but then I have that beautiful bannered end quilting piece with those triangles from the squares. But I need to bring in, for me, some more of that mauve pink color, the mulberry, just to kind of help bring your eye into the photo. The jacket that my mom has on has some of that pinky mauve tones to it, and so by using these colors, it just helps draw your eye to the photo. I don't have any more photos from this day in the life, as we'll say, so it's kind of, for me, all of your photos on Scrapbook page should be the highlights. Sometimes telling the story is more important, and the photos kind of help tell that story. In this case, looking at heritage pages or heritage photos, I think specifically, they didn't take multiple photos. You took one, you hoped it came out, you didn't waste film for just, oh, I wasn't smiling on that one. Let me, tilt my head better. So these are treasured photos for sure. And once I glued everything down here, I'm going to go back, or I am going back, and putting in all of these leaves underneath, just kind of spacing them out. Again, my goal is to support bringing your eye from the outside of the page into that photo. I felt that there was just a little too much, I'll call it white space, but rosemary space on the outsides of 3 of these sizes, and I saw another close to my heart maker take this stamp from the background element stamp, and I had never even recognized that this stamp was on in the set. It was nothing to me, it was like, ooh, who wants this? But she used it just on the edge of a card, almost looked like dry brush painting, and I loved it. And this particular stamp, just so you know, I am turning it so that the top side and the bottom side both are represented, because they have different smear patterns to them, if that makes any sense. I'm also utilizing 1st and 2nd generation stamping, so sometimes when I don't want the full impact of the ink, I'm stamping on that scrap piece and then doing it. And here I'm showing you that I grabbed from the Layered Flourishes stamp that center little flower. It's just a real tiny, and I dotted those on the center of all of my flowers. I know some people have put gems in there or even beads. I find that that's a little too bulky for me for my scrapbook pages. Beautiful on cards or artwork that I'm going to display, but just doesn't work on scrapbook pages. So I finished that out with the gems, and normally that would be done, but there's no title, there's no journaling. So I am deciding my journaling is just going to be the name of my mom and her sister, and kind of the date as I know it. And now for my title, I'm pulling in this mulberry paper again, and I'm trying to figure out where it will work. So with a alphabet stamp set, I stamped the word sisters, and I love using alphabet stamp sets because I'm never going to run out of a letter. And I decided to stamp it on the back side so it's a lighter tone from the deep mulberry, but by putting it up there in the left, as you'll see, it just kind of again gives that triangular balance to draw your eye into that photo. So I hope you get your crafty stuff out and get to play, and you can find some peace and get some pages album ready. Here's how you can connect with me on social media if you're interested. If you really want to help out, like my video. That lets YouTube know that other people might like it too. Have a great day. Be a blessing. Bye.